Keep it locked with DJ SKYN.
Yes, people. DJ SKYN back once again. You're here for the DJ SKYN Insights, a new series we have started. First was MJ Colson Seared, UK Garage, and the second was Calm Dread, Dubstep. Check those on the channel if you want to have a nice little insight into what makes these tunes special. Tonight, however, this one is groundbreaking. This one from a man called Goldie, released back in 1994 off his Timeless album. This one's in the City Life, the full version. Wow. This one, I tell you, I haven't heard in a while, so forgive me if I get a bit emotional. The intro that no one saw coming during dubstep. During drum and bass. Got dubstep on the mind. Drum and bass. This one was perfection, guys. No one had any idea that drum and bass could reach these levels, the spiritual levels, these deep levels. It was around back then, of course, in the rave scene. People just thought it was rave music. But this was dropped, and that certain ideology changed. This song broke down barriers, okay? This whole album did, but particularly this song. This one bled into the mainstream. This one knocked down doors of what was capable with drum and bass, what was capable for jungle. The vocals on this track, Diane Charmelaine. Hopefully I pronounced that right. She died in 2015 of cancer, so R.I.P. One hell of a vocalist who brought this tune to new heights and to new depths. We're just gonna wait for the dreamy, ethereal intro to take hold, because this one's gonna pop off, man. The drums in this are so distinctive, so clear. The pads in this are majorly impressive, but just the reception this track had, a lot of people did not see it coming, guys. A lot of people did not see this aura around drum and bass. They didn't know it could reach these levels. That's why it was so groundbreaking. Let's have a listen now. This is before it really kicks off. Have a listen to this, guys. This is a long track, so it's going to be a long review. We've got a lot to get through, by the way, a lot to get through. Yes. Come on. Beautiful, beautiful lyrics. Here we go. It's going to take off. Here we go. So I discovered this tune in my mid-teens. This was the mid-2000s, because unfortunately I wasn't around this era in the clubs. This must have been absolutely mental. But I was a teen and I heard this and thought, holy crap. And I was into garage around this time as well, but this one just stood out from the rest. There was a lot of drum and bass I heard from, you know, mates and cousins and stuff like that, but this one, whew. This one, it penetrates deeply, okay? This one knocked down barriers in the scene. This one knocked down doors in the scene. Everyone stood up like meerkats and took notice of what was going on with this tune. It was mental. So what we're going to do now, guys, we're going to have a look into the information, the background into this tune. And we've got Wikipedia, our good trusted friend Wikipedia here, and we're going to also look into Discogs as well. We want to see what people's opinions are, because there was a lot of remixes of Inner City Life, which is what we're focusing on, off the Timeless album, of course. So here we go, people. Inner City Life. I will get going just after this second drop, because this when it gets a bit mean. Okay, listen to this. Absolute perfection. The drums are absolute perfection. Fantastic, fantastic. So this one released in 1994 on the 21st of November, guys. Widely considered one of the most iconic drum and bass works of its era. That you've got to believe. It peaked at number 39 in the UK charts. NME ranked it number 11 in their list of 50 songs of 1994, and in 2013 it was ranked number 30 in Mixmag's list of 50 greatest dance tracks of all time. This one, it's just the energy, the different phases it had. It got compared to opera, guys, because no one saw the sophistication in drum and bass until this track came out. That's how important it was. So we got a little snippet here from Goldie about the song and just how he had a bit of he had a few problems with this song. So it's still a good beeline after all this time. This is from Goldie himself, guys. The thing I was kind of mad about was it never got radio play, understandably, because the track is ridiculously long. Okay. No one would ever want to play it on radio. Rinse FM or Kiss FM would not play the record and found it very difficult. Because when you look at the conventionally, it's a good record. But then it was completely out of sorts, and I found that very difficult as far as Timeless was concerned. Timeless was made first, and then Inner City Life came out of it, and I always found it a very difficult one that no one wanted to play, unfortunately, and didn't want to give it to airtime, and that is incredible, but not entirely surprising, because I just mentioned it is a long track. There is a lot of soul in this track, and I don't even think a radio edit, even though one was released ironically. This version, however, really captured a side to London at the time, and I was in London then. There was a few problems, racial related problems, and out of that came jungle and drum and bass. That's one thing the Brits have got to be proud of here. We have no doubt managed to make genres from so-called discrimination, from hatred, from people's love of music, bringing each and everyone together. Very important. So this song's actually 20 minutes long, guys, but we're not focusing on all of that, of course. So the song fuses the breakbeats and bass lines common in jungle with an orchestral textures and soul vocals by Diane Charlemagne, sorry. It has been described as a ghetto blues ballad, a yearning reverie of sanctuary from inner city pressure, and features a sample from the Ike Turner's song Funky Mole. Oh, I didn't know that. From his 1969 album. So Inner City Life, it peaked at number 49 on the UK single charts in 1994. In 1995, it re-entered the chart, peaking at 90. Oh, no, at 39, okay. So Inner City Life was released a year after as well. Was performed live at The Word on Channel 4, and it was included on the soundtrack to the film Trainspotting. Holy crap, I did not know that. That's massive, because I know a lot of people have seen that film. So that was an influential film. There was a lot of decent songs in that soundtrack for that film. So if you haven't seen it, watch it, because it was quite mind-breaking. It was mind-blowing for its time. So Critical Section. Here we go. The sound of an intensing, explosive urban city under hot, beautiful sunlight. I tell you, these words some people are using to describe this track. It's very out there. It seems like they took a lot of time to make their reviews. There was also a music video released and directed by Mike SKYN. Hopefully I pronounced that right. It was interchangeable indigo and sepia tone and was later digitally remastered. The video was published on Goldie's official YouTube channel, so check that out. I've seen it. It's great. The camera angles, there's a lot of upside down camera angles. There's a lot of interesting camera views. And then when the song drops, it sends you off to the club where there's a group of DJs and the lights are flashing, and there's one snippet where you see Goldie looking at the camera. It was one of those things back then. If you want to make a music video like that, in all these underground kind of things, Garage was the same as well with Artful Dodger. They did the same type of thing. It was the thing to do then for music videos for underground genres, because it didn't get major play, so you could pretty much have freedom of what you wanted to do. So the same year, British drum and bass DJ and producer Fabio chose it as one of his top 10 tracks, saying this track showed the scope of the music, and it shocked so many people. Before this record, people thought drum and bass was good music and nothing else. But this tune, guys, this showed that the music could be as deep as Massive Attack. That is quite some accolades. It's good and bad, all wrapped up in one. And that was the kind of aura of the time, I think. In London, it was a bit mad back then. And this song, a lot of songs back then, I have to admit, it really did open that scope up, and it had like a reflection of the times in London. Majorly impressive. So what we're going to do now, guys, is look at some reviews, yes, from the everyday person. And I just want to touch on some of these remixes as well. Here we go. So P-Shay was a remix I have heard, and it is absolute magic as well. It reflects the original very well while being its own thing. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. There was a remix currently, okay, from a man called Burial, who is Future. He was Future Garage and Dubstep, but this version, it did not do it for me, guys. It did not do it for me. We're actually going to do a review of him later on down the line, but his version really didn't hit it with me. And he's usually the guy to go to do a dark insight into London. His music is very controversial but uplifting, very deep. So I'm hoping to do an insight on him. So Ronnie Size had a remix as well. It got a recent remaster, apparently from last year. I did not know that. I need to look out for that myself. And this is very speed-wise. This is only, BPM-wise. It's only at 157 BPM, and it sounds good because it lets the beats breathe, in my personal opinion. So that can make a massive difference. Just looking at reviews now. Yeah, look at this. Wow, what an absolute classic release. So what if it didn't get caned in the clubs or pirate stations? It's just a timeless piece of superbly written music. And the appreciation a lot of people gave this track, man. Throughout the years, there's still youngsters listening it today. Absolutely mind blown of what drum and bass can amount to. This was something else, guys. I can't recommend this track more than enough. If you're not into drum and bass or jungle, and you've got a slight inkling on what the genre could potentially do for you, potentially get you on board, this is the album. The Inner City song is just magic, guys. The Timeless album as well is something I've never experienced. When I first listened to the whole album, it was such a deep dive into emotion that the beats were just hitting perfectly. It took you back to times where you were with your family, with your friends. It took you back to your bad times, your good times, the times where you could self-reflect. And tracks like this are scarce. There's still some great drum and bass, atmospheric and liquid, of course, but this one, I tell ya. Also, Nuki, he had a remix of this one as well. Oh, actually, he's got a new remix he hasn't released yet, but his original one was beautiful. But this one I heard at Smooth and Groove vs Soul Deep this year. That remix was absolute magic. I actually recorded myself singing it on the phone. It was bliss. It's like it took you back to 1994 right there and then. Okay, absolute magic, guys. So if you don't know, get to know. This is Goldie Inner City Live. Okay, one of the groundbreaking drum and bass tunes to have ever been released. This is DJ SKYN. We'll be back for the next one.